The stars were quiet that night. The civilian transport ship Hopebringer moved through deep space with no weapons, no soldiers, only families, doctors, and peaceful travelers heading toward a medical colony. On board were children, scientists, and ordinary people just trying to build a better life. It was a routine journey. Nothing ever happened in this part of the galaxy. That's why no one expected what came next. The last message from Hopebringer was a simple status update. All systems normal. ETA to station, 9 hours. Then silence. No distress call, no signal. The ship vanished without a trace. Earth's Space Command picked up on the silence within minutes. They tried to contact the ship. No reply. They pinged emergency beacons. Nothing. At first, they thought it was a systems failure, maybe a power issue, but ships like Hopebringer had 5 layers of backup. One going offline was rare. All of them, impossible. A quiet tension spread across Earth's Defense Council. The families of the passengers began to worry. Messages filled the networks. Where is the ship? Have you found them? My daughter was on board. No one had answers, but something didn't feel right. Commander Reyes, head of Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Unit, stared at the screen. He didn't speak much, but he felt it in his gut. This wasn't an accident. He ordered a stealth drone to be sent to the last known coordinates. It would take 18 hours to arrive. While the drone made its way, the Galactic Council gave their opinion. Probably pirates, they said. These things happen in border space. But Earth wasn't convinced. There had been no pirate activity in that zone for months, and no pirate would hit a civilian ship without leaving some kind of signal behind. When the drone arrived, it sent back data in real time. Reyes watched closely. At first, there was nothing but empty space. Then, debris. Small pieces, too small for a ship that size. No large wreckage, no bodies, no sign of a battle. Just fragments, drifting slowly through the dark. Then the drone found something else, a strange energy signature. One that didn't match any known pirate or alien tech. It pulsed low, almost hidden, and it was recent. The drone moved closer. Among the debris, it picked up a burnt piece of metal. When they zoomed in, Reyes saw the words, Hopebringer. United Earth Transport. His jaw tightened. Then came the message. The drone's sensors picked up a tiny data burst. A single word repeated over and over, deep in a hidden channel. Help. That was all. Just that one word. Weak. Broken. Desperate. Earth's Defense Council went silent when they saw it. That was a voice from someone still alive. Maybe one of the crew. Maybe a child. President Marlowe sat in her office watching the feed. She didn't blink. Whoever did this, she said softly, just woke the wrong planet. The council wanted to wait. Talk to the galactic powers, collect more data. But Earth had waited once before, back when colonies went dark and no one listened. Not again. That night, the stars over Earth shined a little less brightly. In secret, Earth activated its shadow program, Black Vengeance. It was made for situations just like this. Quiet missions, clean retribution, no mercy. 10 ships left orbit with no markings, no IDs, fast, silent, invisible. The galaxy still believed Earth was peaceful, that humans were emotional, soft, easy to control. They didn't know the full story. Not yet. Meanwhile, somewhere far away, in a cold room on a hidden ship, a small child sat in a cage. She was dirty, bruised, but her eyes were still sharp. She looked at the alien standing in front of her and whispered something in a shaking voice. The alien leaned closer to hear. She said, "My mom said they'd come for me." The alien laughed. "No one's coming, human." But in the dark space outside, something was already on its way. And this time, Earth wasn't sending diplomats. It was sending monsters of its own, the kind it never spoke about, the kind it built in silence, the kind born not for survival, but for revenge, because the message had been received and Earth never forgets its own. The galaxy had always seen Earth as peaceful. The humans spoke of unity, trade, and diplomacy. They sang songs of peace and shared their science freely. Other species thought of them as kind, maybe even weak, but that idea was about to break. The moment Earth confirmed the Hopebringer was gone, something changed. The news spread fast. Billions saw the image, a burned nameplate floating in space. Hopebringer, United Earth Transport. That single picture lit up Earth's networks. People cried, screamed, and raged. They wanted answers. And more than that, they wanted justice. But Earth said nothing. No loud speeches. No angry threats. Just silence. And in that silence, something powerful began to grow. President Marlow met with the Defense Council again. The faces in the room were hard. There were no arguments this time, only one decision: find who did it and make sure they never do it again. Commander Reyes stood at the front. He had spent his life watching stars and signals. Now, he watched for something else: a trail of blood. The stealth drone had picked up a strange energy signature near the debris field. It didn't match pirate tech or any known species. But one officer recognized the pattern. It was old, secret, belonging to a group many thought didn't exist anymore: the Veil Syndicate. The Veil Syndicate wasn't a government. It wasn't a normal pirate group either. It was something darker, hidden. They sold fear, pain, and power. For the right price, they'd steal a planet's children and leave no trace. Most species paid to stay off their list. Earth never paid them. Earth had never dealt with them at all, until now. In orbit around Mars, 10 ships were waiting. They had no lights, no ID. Each was built for one purpose: to hunt. These were the ships of Black Vengeance, Earth's secret strike force. No diplomats, no trials, just action. Inside the lead ship, Captain Anna Cross checked her weapons. Her team didn't talk much. They had all lost someone once. Now they were going to make others feel that same loss. Their orders were clear: find the Veil, burn their bases, take back the humans, no warnings, no mercy. Back on Earth, an alien ambassador from the Galactic Council arrived. His name was Varun. He spoke calmly, trying to control the situation. "This is not confirmed," he said. "There is no solid proof. Earth should wait." President Marlow stood in silence, looking out the window at the stars. Then she turned and placed something on the table in front of Varun. It was a small ID badge, burned, bent. The name on it was barely readable: Ellie Reyes, age 7, passenger. Hopebringer. Then she slid over a small device. A timer. It began ticking down. Varun blinked. "What is this?" Marlow looked him in the eyes. "You have 72 hours to return every civilian. After that, we won't be asking anymore." Varun tried to protest, but she turned away. The meeting was over. Across the stars, whispers began. Alien news networks reported Earth may be planning military action. Some laughed. "What can Earth do?" they asked. But others remembered. Earth had only fought once in the past century, and it had ended quickly. Too quickly. That war had vanished from records, and those who survived refused to speak of it. Now, old fears returned. The first strike came 2 days later. A syndicate base hidden inside an asteroid suddenly exploded. No one saw who did it. No ships were caught leaving. But inside the rubble, alien investigators found something strange. Carved into the metal walls were words in English: "You stole our children. Now we take everything." The next day, another base went dark. Then a third. Each time, no alarms, no warnings, just silence. Like a shadow passing through the dark. The Veil Syndicate realized too late. They had touched something they didn't understand, and the galaxy began to watch in fear. Some leaders begged Earth to stop. Others sent messages of support. But Earth didn't reply. It was busy tracking the monsters hiding in the stars. Back in a secret Veil facility, one of the syndicate leaders paced nervously. He held a report in his hands. Earth is not following protocol, he said. They're not negotiating. They're erasing us. Another leader snorted. They're humans. Let them try. Then the door opened. A soldier rushed in. Sir, we just lost base Sigma. Already? The leader whispered. How? The soldier hesitated. There were no ships, no signals, just something that walked through our walls. The leader's face turned pale. On Earth, Reyes stood in front of a map filled with red markers. Behind him, his daughter's photo rested on the table. He didn't smile, he didn't speak, he just pointed to the next target. Because now Earth wasn't hunting pirates, it was hunting monsters, and it would not stop. Not until every last child was returned, or every last enemy was gone. The Veil Syndicate was not used to fear. They had stolen from planets, erased whole families, and sold lives to the highest bidder. But now, they were afraid. 3 of their hidden bases had been destroyed in less than a week. No alarms, no survivors, not even wreckage to study, just silence, and the chilling English message left behind every time. You stole our children, now we take everything. The galaxy started whispering. News spread quickly. Earth wasn't asking for justice anymore. It was taking it. Quietly. Fast, without permission. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Hundreds of species sent their representatives. They wanted to understand what was happening. Earth hadn't declared war. But something was clearly moving through space. Something powerful and angry. Ambassador Varun stood before the council. I met with Earth's president, he said. She gave a deadline, 72 hours. We didn't listen. Now, the consequences have started. A tall insectoid ambassador from the Zarn hive buzzed nervously. Surely humans can be reasoned with. They value peace. They care for life. Varun shook his head. You don't understand. This isn't about war. This is personal. They lost children, families, civilians. Earth is not responding like a government. It is responding like a parent. The room went silent. Meanwhile, across the stars, Captain Anna Cross and her team moved from target to target. Their ships were invisible to most scanners. They never fired from orbit. Instead, they landed in silence, slipped inside Syndicate bases, and erased them from within. They didn't leave wreckage, just messages, and sometimes survivors, left alive only to deliver a warning. Give them back. At one of the smaller Veil stations, a mid-level officer named Trask was reviewing security when the lights suddenly cut out. No explosions, no warning, just darkness. Trask shouted, "Check the reactors! Bring backup power!" But nothing came. The doors opened with a hiss and cold air rushed in. Then came the footsteps, slow, heavy, controlled. Trask backed up, shaking. "Who's there?" A voice answered, deep and human. "You took the wrong ship." Screams echoed down the hallway. Moments later, Earth's Black Vengeance team left the base smoldering. Another message burned into the wall. We are coming. By now, even the strongest Syndicate leaders started hiding. Their networks crumbled. Their communications went dark. They didn't know how Earth found them so easily. They didn't know who was helping the humans. But someone was. Far away, a small alien technician named Zira watched her screen. She worked for the Galactic Communications Hub. Quiet. Invisible. She'd seen the truth in secret messages and hidden signals. She saw the Hopebringer's last cry for help, and she saw who jammed it. Zira had kept quiet at first. Fear ruled her. But when she saw what the Veil had done, children in cages, stolen for experiments or worse, she broke. She secretly sent Earth the coordinates to hidden Syndicate bases, every location, every name, every secret. No one knew her name. But Earth called her Whistle in their files. Thanks to her, Captain Cross received another target. This one was big, a mobile prison, ship named the Butcher's Hand. That ship had moved through 4 systems in the last week. It was known for breaking prisoners until they begged to die. Some humans were still on board. Cross didn't wait. She whispered into her comms, "Go silent. Entry in 2 minutes. No survivors, unless they wear Earth tags." Her team moved in. Inside the prison ship, guards laughed and drank, thinking they were safe. The ship was cloaked, armed, and hidden inside a debris field. But they didn't see the human ship enter through a maintenance vent. They didn't hear the boots hit the floor. They only noticed when the screaming started. One of the prisoners, a teenage boy from Earth named Milo, sat in his cell, bruised and cold. He heard the alarms. Then the doors opened. A tall figure stood there, human, armored in black. No words, just a hand reaching out. Milo's voice cracked. "Are you real?" The soldier nodded. "You're going home," the boy cried. 30 minutes later, the butcher's hand was gone. Not destroyed, erased. No wreckage, no signal. It was like it had never existed. And back on Earth, the people cheered. News channels didn't show the blood or the death. They only showed the rescued humans, families hugging, children laughing again, hope returning. But deep in the galaxy, the Veil Syndicate screamed. Their fear became chaos. Their strongholds began to fall. Their leaders turned on each other. They realized something too late. They hadn't just stolen a ship. They had woken. Something ancient, something human, something that would burn across the stars until every last one of them was gone. And the galaxy finally began to fear. In the heart of a quiet communication tower, far from the fighting, Zira sat alone. Her small office was filled with screens and lights blinking quietly. She wasn't a soldier. She wasn't brave. She just worked with signals, sorting data, checking patterns, marking suspicious messages, but Zira had done something no one else dared. She had helped the humans. When she first saw the message from the Hopebringer, her heart froze. The last signal was full of screams, static, and then nothing. But her station had also picked up something strange, a hidden code buried inside a jammer signal. It was old tech, Veil Syndicate tech. Zira had always known the galaxy was corrupt. She had seen secret messages, read stolen reports. But this time it was different. Children were taken, families destroyed. And no one cared. No one moved. Not the council, not the leaders, only Earth. So Zira sent a message, one line, encrypted, risky. "If you want the truth, follow the silence." She didn't expect a reply, but 2 days later, her terminal flashed, once. A new message. No name. Just a symbol. A black V with a single blue line running through it. Earth had heard her. From that moment, Zira became Whistle. She stayed hidden, quietly feeding the humans everything she found. Flight paths, syndicate codes, security flaws, even prisoner lists. She erased her traces after every message. If the council or the Veil found out, she'd be dead in seconds. But she kept going. Now, she stared at a new file. It was a list of names. More human civilians. Still alive. Still being moved from base to base. Her hands shook as she saw one name at the top, Amira Reyes, age 7, the daughter of Earth's signal chief, still alive. Zira blinked away tears and started typing. A new drop point, another quiet message to the shadows. As she hit send, she heard footsteps outside her door. Her blood turned cold. She didn't move, didn't breathe. The door stayed, closed. After a moment, the footsteps faded. She waited 5 more minutes before finally exhaling. She had to leave soon. They were getting closer, but not yet. Not until every name was passed along. Not until Earth had everything, far across space. Captain Anna Cross received the file from Whistle. She studied the list in silence, her jaw tight. "Reyes's daughter," she said softly. Her second-in-command nodded. "That's why he hasn't spoken much." Cross stood. Get ready. We're going after her, no matter what. Back on Earth, Commander Reyes sat alone in a dark room. He hadn't slept in days. His daughter's photo sat on the table. He still remembered her laugh, her drawings on the wall, the way she hugged his leg when he left for work. Now, she was somewhere in Syndicate hands. He didn't cry anymore. His heart had turned into steel. When Anna Cross called him with the news, his voice didn't shake. "Where is she?" "We're tracking the convoy," Cross said. "We'll intercept it within 24 hours. I'm coming." "Are you sure?" she asked. Reyes stared at his daughter's photo. "This isn't war. This is rescue. The convoy was protected by heavy ships, old Syndicate war cruisers armed with plasma cannons and drone mines. But Earth didn't attack from the front. Instead, black vengeance came from underneath, rising from a dead asteroid field. No one saw them until it was too late. The first blast disabled the escort. The second tore through the engine core of the lead cruiser. Inside, guards scrambled, yelling, "Where are they?" One of them reached for the prisoner controls, planning to use the humans as shields, but a bullet stopped him cold. Captain Cross and Reyes moved through the halls like shadows. Reyes didn't shoot unless he had to. He didn't speak. He was looking for one thing. He kicked open the final door and saw a group of children in a corner. Thin, scared, dirty. Then he saw her. She looked up slowly, unsure. "Amira," he whispered. She blinked. Then she ran. He dropped his weapon and caught her in his arms. She sobbed into his shoulder. "I knew you'd come." Behind him, Cross smiled softly. "We need to move." As the rescue team pulled out, the last ship in the convoy exploded. Earth's forces left no trace behind, only another message floating in space. "You are not gods. You bleed like the rest." Back in her dark room, Zira watched the transmission. She saw the girl had been saved. She smiled through tears. But her time was running out. She packed her bag, destroyed her computer, and erased all records. Before she left, she wrote one last message to Earth. "I've done all I can. Keep going. Don't stop. They must pay." And with that, whistle disappeared. But her words would echo through space. Because now Earth knew where to strike, and the galaxy wasn't ready for what came next. The Veil Syndicate was falling apart. They had ruled in the shadows for years. No law could touch them. No army could find them. But now, something worse than war had come for them. Vengeance. Quiet. Focused. Human. In just 2 weeks, 10 Syndicate bases were destroyed. 5 warships were taken without warning. Every time the attackers left no clues, no identity, only a message burned into walls or floating in space. "We don't forgive. We don't forget." The galaxy started to panic. The Council tried to speak with Earth, but Earth didn't answer. Its diplomats stayed silent. Its fleets didn't move openly. Instead, small black ships continued to slip through space, striking targets one by one. Some aliens said Earth was using secret weapons. Others believed Earth had awakened an ancient monster. But one thing was clear: no one could stop it. Inside, a hidden Syndicate moon base, panic had replaced pride. Officers shouted at each other. Communications were failing. Supplies weren't arriving. Every spy they had sent to Earth had disappeared. Their leader, a tall gray-skinned being named Koro, Vask slammed his fist on the table. "We were gods once," he growled. "We controlled planets," a younger officer replied, voice shaking. We didn't think Earth would fight like this." "Then you didn't study them," Vask said coldly. "Humans don't start wars, but when they finish them, they erase everything." Outside the base, something moved, invisible to scanners, silent in the void. It was the Obsidian Blade, one of Earth's stealth assault cruisers. Inside the ship, Anna Cross stood with her team. Beside her, Commander Reyes watched the live feed. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. "We hit them tonight," Cross said. This is where they planned the attack on the Hopebringer. This is where the order came from. And that's where it ends, Reyes whispered. The ship released a pod. It dropped fast, landing without sound on the moon's surface. A small squad exited, slipping into the dark tunnels of the base. They weren't loud. They didn't fire at random. Every shot was perfect, every step planned. They moved like ghosts through the halls. Vask sat in his command room when the lights flickered. Then the door opened. He reached for his weapon, but a human stood there already. Tall, armored, rifle aimed. "Are you Vask?" the soldier asked. Vask sneered. "Yes, and I demand." A single shot ended the sentence. The human walked away, leaving a device behind. Seconds later, the base exploded from within. From orbit, the obsidian blade watched as fire consumed the moon. Another syndicate stronghold, gone. The message was clear now. Earth was not coming to talk. It was not here to follow rules. It was here to end those who hurt its people. Back on Earth, the media showed little. Only soft stories, children rescued, families reunited. One girl, Amira Reyes, drew pictures on a wall in a recovery center. She showed a black ship and people in armor. When asked who they were, she said, "They came in the dark, but they were the good kind." But across the stars, the Veil Syndicate had no such comfort. Their networks cracked. Some leaders fled, others tried to beg for peace, but Earth didn't answer. Not yet. A rumor spread in Syndicate space. It said that Earth had created a list. A list of every name, every station, every buyer involved in the Hopebringer attack, and Earth was crossing them off one by one. Even worse, the galaxy started to approve. Other species, long bullied by the Veil, began helping quietly. Small ships leaked information. Traders passed coordinates. Even a few council members turned away when Earth's black ships flew by. No one wanted to stop them, because deep down, many agreed. The Veil had taken too much for too long. They deserved what was coming. Back in the shadows, Zira, Whistle, watched from a new hiding place. She was tired, hungry, alone. But when she saw the moon base explode, she smiled. Not because of the fire. Not because of death, but because justice was finally louder than silence. She opened her encrypted line one last time, typed 7 simple words. "Keep going, you're not done yet," and sent it into the dark. Earth received the message and prepared for the next name on the list. The Veil Syndicate was crumbling. Their leaders were dead or in hiding. Their ships were hunted. Their bases, one by one, turned to fire and silence. What once ruled the black markets of the galaxy now feared every shadow, because the humans were no longer warning anyone. They were just coming. Across the stars, whispers filled the dark. Earth had made a list. And they weren't stopping until the list was empty. In the rich core worlds of the galaxy, the Council finally met in panic. Alien leaders shouted at one another. Screens showed destroyed stations, burning moons, and ruined Syndicate fleets. Earth never sent messages, no demands, no peace talks. They only left one thing behind. "You hurt one of ours. You'll pay for all." One council elder, a tall being with golden eyes, stood and said, "We must contact Earth now. This cannot continue." But others looked away. Some agreed with Earth. Secretly, they thought, maybe the humans are doing what we were too afraid to do. On a hidden council channel, Earth finally replied, but not with a message of peace. A human woman appeared on screen. Her armor was scratched, her face tired. "I'm Captain Anna Cross," she said. "You watched them take our people, you let them vanish. Now you want to stop us?" She leaned forward. "You can't." Then the screen went dark. In a far sector, the last major Syndicate fortress stood, Station Seraph, a giant floating city armed with cannons, shield generators, and thousands of guards. It was the Veil's final wall, their last safe place. Inside, a man named Drek Voss paced nervously. He had ordered the Hopebringer attack. He had signed the papers that sent children into cages. For years he laughed at the law, But now, he couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat. His security chief brought news every hour, and every hour it got worse. "Another listening post gone," the chief said. "5 of our couriers vanished. No trace. We think the humans have agents inside the station." Drek's voice cracked. "They wouldn't dare attack Seraph. It's too strong." The chief didn't reply. That night, lights went out across Seraph. No warning. Panic spread. Alarms screamed. Ships tried to launch, but their engines failed. Hackers were inside the EU system. Human hackers. Then the attack began. Black pods slammed into the outer walls. Explosives tore through doors. Human soldiers poured into the station, silent and deadly. They didn't shoot civilians. Only armed guards, only officers, only the guilty. Drek Voss tried to run, but in the center of the station, he found the one person he feared most, Commander Reyes, the father, the one whose daughter he had taken. Reyes walked slowly through the corridor. His eyes never blinked. His rifle didn't shake. Drek raised his hands. "Please, wait. I was following orders. I can help you. I can tell you where the others are." Reyes didn't even stop walking. "You think this is revenge?" he said quietly. "It's not." He raised the rifle. "This is justice." The shot echoed through the broken station. By morning, Seraph was no more. The humans didn't keep it. They didn't stay. They simply erased it from the stars. Every prisoner was freed. Every child returned. Every document taken, and left behind was one final message, broadcast across all channels in every major language. This was never about war. It was about remembering. You forgot who we were. You will not forget again. Across the galaxy, silence followed. The Council didn't send more messages. The Syndicate was no longer a threat. And for the first time in decades, the slave markets, the smuggler networks, the secret labs, all of them, shut down. No one dared open them again. Back on Earth, Commander Reyes stood at a quiet memorial. He held his daughter's hand. She smiled, up at him, drawing pictures of stars. Captain Cross joined them, nodding once. "It's done." "Not yet," Reyes replied. "One more name." "Who?" "The first one. The one who signed the deal. The one who gave the Syndicate access to human space." Cross narrowed her eyes. "A council member?" Reyes nodded. "Let's finish this. Because even if the galaxy had forgotten, Earth remembered. And mercy? That came long ago. Now only justice remained. The galaxy had grown quiet. Syndicate bases were gone. Their fleets were destroyed. Their leaders dead or hiding. The black markets had stopped. Slavery rings had fallen. The stars that once burned with greed now shivered with fear. But Earth was not done yet. There was still one name left. A council member named Tal Varys. He wasn't part of the Syndicate, not directly. He never pulled a trigger, never touched a prisoner. But he was the one who opened the gate. Years ago, he signed a quiet deal. He let the Veil Syndicate move through human space. He allowed smugglers to pass. He closed his eyes when the Hopebringer disappeared. He thought no one would ever know. But Earth found the files. And now, they were coming for him. On the peaceful world of Darren Prime, Council Member Tal Varys stood at his tower. Outside, birds flew in the warm breeze. People walked calmly through the gardens. No one here knew fear. He looked at the sky and saw a shadow. A black ship. It didn't come fast. It didn't fire. It just hovered, watching, waiting. His guards moved. His assistants ran. But Varys knew. It was too late. He called the council. "You have to stop them. They're going to attack a peaceful world." But the council didn't answer. Many were silent. Some even turned off their screens because they all knew the truth. Tal Varys had helped monsters. And now, monsters were at his door. From the black ship, a single pod dropped. It landed without sound. One figure stepped out. It was Commander Reyes. He walked through the gardens. No one stopped him. The people didn't scream. They didn't run. Because they saw his face, and somehow they knew. This was justice. Inside the tower, Varys locked the doors. He ordered his guards to hold the line, but when Reyes reached the entrance, no one stood in his way. The guards stepped aside. Some even nodded, because they knew what Varys had done. In the top chamber, Varys waited. His voice trembled. "You don't have proof," he said as Reyes entered. Reyes dropped a small device on the table. It projected documents, videos, call logs, all the proof. "You helped them take children," Reyes said quietly. "You gave them maps. You took their credits. I was protecting peace," Varys shouted. "The galaxy was stable." Reyes stepped forward. "You don't protect peace by selling people." Varys backed away. "What do you want? You want me to step down? I'll resign. I'll disappear." Reyes looked at him. "You don't get to disappear." The screen went black. Later, the council released a short message. Tol Varys has been removed from power. Earth has delivered its final judgment. The matter is closed. No one argued. No one questioned it, because everyone now remembered what they had forgotten. Humans do not forgive what cannot be forgiven, and when Earth moves, nothing can stop it. Across the galaxy, a strange feeling spread. It wasn't fear. Not anymore. It was respect. They saw that Earth didn't want to rule, didn't want control. It didn't take planets or demand tribute. It just wanted its people safe, and if you took one of them, it would come for you. Every single time back. On Earth, the black ships returned to hangars. Soldiers came home. Anna Cross hugged her team. Reyes picked up his daughter and spun her in the air. Peace, for the first time in years, felt real. Not because it was given by law, but because it was earned with fire and steel. In a small ceremony, they placed the names of the lost beside the names of those who returned. Not forgotten, never forgotten. As the sun set on Earth, and the stars blinked alive once more, a new message was carved into stone beneath the human flag. You may strike us once, but we only need to stand once, to end you forever. And the galaxy would never forget again. What happens when you make enemies out of humans? Because retaliation wasn't just a word to Earth, it was a promise.